duffel bag toppled over and several items within his bag careened out into the floor. One of which was a massive, veiny dildo. My name is Luke Denman of the United States Army, and this is part one of the Staff Sgt. Walker Trio. I'm going to have to backtrack in time a little bit to tell you about the first time that I ever interacted with Staff Sgt. Walker. We had just been called up for this mobilization, and I had just come in from AIT. I volunteered to go, so they take a whole bunch of dudes that we don't know each other, we're not from the same unit, and they throw us all together for this like amalgamation of a deployment. And they call us Warrior Platoon 9, shout out. We bust down to Mississippi from Indianapolis, and we get there, we form up, we get our rigmarole of normal Army stuff, and we go in our bay. And when I get to my bunk, it's me, and then across the aisle is Staff Sgt. Walker, and then behind me is a young, wonderful man who I'll eventually tell another story about, named Staff Sgt. Westfall. And we have our duffel bags open, and we're loading them into our wall lockers. Nothing out of the ordinary. And I couldn't help but notice, as I'm loading my items into the wall locker, that Staff Sgt. Walker's duffel bag toppled over, and several items within his bag careened out into the floor. One of which was a massive, veiny dildo. It's the biggest fake penis I've ever even imagined in my mind. It's huge. It's so big that upon seeing it first out the corner of my eye, I thought that it was a Godzilla action figure. But I realized that it was not when I heard the snap of the sinew pull away from the cold concrete floor. And it came to me, and I was shocked, and I went back to my wall locker trying to pretend or imagine that this is not what had just taken place. And I'm running through all these scenarios in my mind like, no, it's not a dildo, he's an amputee, and it's an arm. It's his amputee arm. And as I'm thinking all these things, I turn around to get some things off of my bunk, and my bunkmate, Buck Sergeant Westfall, is looking at me like this. To which I can't help but respond by looking at him like this.